Anthony Adebayo. We off the record.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes. You can reach us at theofftherecordshow@gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B. We off the record.
What's going on, man?
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Week 3?
We are now in the week 3. This is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Boy, Scotty B, man.
And before we even continue, first of all, this is episode we have done, since we've started over, we have done 270 episodes. This is number 270.
Man. It feels like we just did episode 100 or
that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it feels like it was a long time ago.
That was episode 100 was pre-pandemic.
Right.
So I wonder, I don't know because we left the studio in DC. So I don't know if we've done more episodes out of the studio.
We've definitely done more episodes
I don't know. Think about this. We started there in 2017.
Okay.
Like May of 2017. And our last show there was in March of 2020.
Okay.
And so since then, because and then like we didn't skip a beat.
We
so like until like whatever. But then March of 2020 to where we at now? What is it? September of 23.
We've done more.
We
definitely done more in the studio. It doesn't seem that way because we've probably done, we'll say 120 episodes out of the studio, and then we was more in the 150 mark with the studio.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if we got to 150 at the studio, but nonetheless, it don't matter. So here's the thing: we have more flexibility when we're not in the studio, right? Yep, that's little A. And she's a speedster, and she's gonna be on my track team whenever if I ever start one. She's gonna be on it. But nonetheless, man, it's week 3. I know we definitely gonna talk fantasy, but I guess I gotta start where I gotta start, right? So and here's the thing: I'm a man of my word. I'm gonna put this on just for a reminder, right? I'm gonna put this. This is a nice hat, right? It is a nice hat.
It's a clean hat.
It's nice, So I'm gonna say this, right?
Okay.
So I had a matchup against a scrub. I mean, now he is a scrub because he sits in the passenger side of his best friend's. But anyway, so Charles and I had a matchup this week, and he won, right? So I'm gonna say congratulations, Charles. You won a week 2 matchup. You are the man for week 2, right?
Was that the bet?
What? I had to say something nice about him on air.
Okay.
And so my nice thing to say is you were the man for week 2. But here's the thing. We got about 12 more weeks left. 12 or 13 weeks, give or take. And sometimes people have history. History kind of like repeats itself, right? And what I do know is that we're in this is the 3rd year of this league or the 4th year? This is the 4th year. This is the 4th year. I know Marcus won the first season. I won the second season. Jamal won the 3rd season. And I want to say Charles has been in the league this is his 3rd season. He wasn't there initially, right?
No, he's been there the entire time.
He had so he has been in. And you know what I realized? And the first year was when he. No. I think you sure he was there.
He's been in the league now.
All right, you know what I'm gonna do? I do you one even better, man. You know what? I want Charles. Charles, if you out here, man, I want you to join us on the stream. Scott didn't even know I was gonna do this. I didn't even know I was going to do this actually, but I want you to join us, and you only get in a couple minutes, dog. So don't come on here. I don't want to hear a whole bunch of sinister laughs and any of those things. And if you can't join, I'm gonna tell you now, if you can't join, I'm gonna say a lot of bad things about you. So it's best that you join. I sent you the link, brother. I'm sure you're watching because trust me, he reminded me from Thursday to about 5 hours ago that matter of fact, it was at 6:45. He said tune in Off the Record at 7. Hey, wait a minute.
So I'll tell you this, right? So Charles's trademark is a notebook. And after this week, I know he revisits whatever he writes in that notebook book or that notepad, because if you get on his bad side, when he's up, he gonna make sure, like, oh yeah, I remember you was talking crap.
And here's the thing, man. You know, Charles, my guy. I'm a root for Charles. You know, we're gonna have to battle again. We're gonna have to, you know. And speaking of battles, you know, Battlegrounds coming up. We about to start season 8.
Yes.
So season 8's coming up. So that's you know, another thing. And I'm sure he's gonna have to battle me. And I'm telling the world right now. First of all, Charles hasn't beaten me probably since the pandemic, but it's probably been a few seasons.
You never lost to Charles?
I've lost to Charles before. I've lost to Charles before, but it's been a long time since I've lost to Charles.
I've taken the L on the battleground.
Yeah, I mean, you know. So you know what? So here's the thing. Charles is here.
Okay.
You know, people, I'm gonna introduce you to he's a Virginia State grad. You know, he's a bloody hacker. You know, he's a father. You know, he's a son. He's never eaten cold breakfast in his life. So you got to commend him. He's had hot breakfast every morning of his life. He's never had cold breakfast, which is amazing. What else can I say? He had a doorman as a child. He moved on. He was the real life. He was part of the real life Jeffersons. And I couldn't. And just because I can't think of George Jefferson's son's name right now, I'm gonna bring him in. All right. So Charles Jefferson.
Yeah. Woo.
Hey, bring down the energy. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Talk your shit, Charles, man. You deserve it, man.
Man, listen. This has been a long time coming, okay? So a couple of things, right? Ant is not the only one that was on that smoke list, right? There was this dude named Mike Boger. Before the season started. No. Before the season started, everybody was like, okay, yeah, Chuck about to be the doormat again. I'm like, nah, brother, not this time. Mike was talking crazy the whole summer. He got added to the smoke list. Ant was a late addition to the smoke list. Burning Goats, which is Phil Ford. He's on the smoke list. Okay? I'm calling him out. Jamal, he's definitely on the smoke list, but that's for later on down the road. So I'm enjoying this 2-0. Okay? 2-0, about to be 3-0. Okay.
Hold on. So, who you got next week, yo? Who you play next week, man?
I got Marcus, but I ain't saying that because Marcus ain't never talked crazy in the chat to me.
Are you saying you scared?
I'm gonna be quiet.
Are you scared?
No, I'm not scared, but it's just
now you're gonna be quiet because
I'm not scared. But listen, this is the revenge tour. This is the revenge tour.
Listen, you started talking trash to me.
No, sir.
I responded to you,
sir. These little slick. I know Carolina's not doing too hot, but these little slick Carolina comments is what bugs me. Okay? Yes.
Hey, this hat look nice though, dog. This is a nice looking hat.
Yeah. I need, and that's okay. And folks, we got some money on that Carolina Cowboys game, so we definitely got to get an update on that too. Okay? Because I'm coming back to collect. From last year, I'm coming back to collect. I'm on the tour, my brother.
Hey, Charles, I got a question for you.
Yes.
And we're gonna get to the rest of the league in a second. We're gonna do a little recap of week 2 and all of that stuff.
Yes.
But I got a question for you. You know, last year we had a bet, and I know you want that smoke. So my question is, are we yoking them up again this year or what? You live on the air. You are live on Off the Record. You are live on Off the Record.
We haven't had a good old yoke 'em up
You ain't
challenge.
had- you know when the last time we had to yoke them up? Charles. So hey, you said you on your revenge tour was good.
Oh, let's go then. Yoke 'em up it is. Let's go. Hands are shook. I ain't scared of nothing, man. Let's go. The yoke 'em up challenge is on. Let's go.
All right, hey, we shake it. Hey,
Yo, it's September 20th. 7:40
Today's September 20th. That's right.
7:41.
That's right.
Cowboys versus Carolina.
That's right.
An egg over their head on the air.
That's right.
And $200.
And 200.
Ooh, big money.
Woo.
Big
Let's
money.
go.
I ain't got
200 and an egg.
You know, 200 and an
200
egg.
and an egg.
Yeah.
You want to add a hat to that again too?
No, we ain't adding no hat. You already got enough hats, okay? You already got enough hats. We're not adding a hat to that.
So Charles, I just want to. Sorry, and this is what I'm gonna ask you. So we live in Off the Record Studios, right?
Mm-hmm.
The game is November 19th.
Yes, it is.
Listen, this is what I will tell you. This year I will not rupture my Achilles, so we can watch the game. But I'm asking you, the game is November 19th. That Wednesday, which is the Wednesday, actually, I think that's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Will you show up live on Off the Record?
I will show up live on Off the Record.
There we go.
There we have
You
it.
hear it
There we have
live
it.
in the studio, folks.
So this is what's going to happen. The Carolina Panthers will be playing the Dallas Cowboys on November 19th. All right, and whoever got to get yoked up is going to get yoked up by the opponent live on Off the Record. So we'll make sure all of this stuff is covered up.
Nah, I'll make sure. You got to stop.
We may have to move it over there, but it's cool. So Charles, thank you for joining us, man. I will say
I am shocked and appalled.
it's gonna be you know what I mean? It's gonna be some scrambled eggs on your head again.
Not this time, my brother.
This time, you know what I'm doing? I'm actually gonna draw your face on the egg before I put it on your head. All right? So this one egg. I know eggs are expensive. I know eggs are expensive, but it is what it is, man. And just for the record, on Off the Record, the Battlegrounds is about to start, and I will.
Yes, it is.
Again, okay, you hear me? I will kick your ass again.
Here we go.
And, I mean, it is what it is, you know. So again, I appreciate.
Never learn.
Are you on site somewhere? Where are you?
Yeah, I'm in Cleveland right now. I'm in Cleveland.
He's on.
I'll be out. I know part of the tour.
You got a kitchen in your room?
No, I'm in a little King's, it's like a little suite.
Hey, yo, listen. Hey, don't be humble, man. Hey, man, listen.
No, it ain't.
Listen, you can afford the eggs that they're gonna get tossed on your head. But hey, man, just continue to watch the show. I'm done with you. I'm getting you up out of here because we got shit to do. All right,
bye. Peace.
Bye. All right, y'all. That was.
So I got a couple of questions before we go. Too much more in the week too. So
right.
Are we having a press conference tonight? I know it's a whole bunch of
there
people
will
in the
there will be a Battlegrounds press conference.
There will
tonight.
be a Battlegrounds press conference.
There will be a battle.
What time will there be a Battlegrounds?
Whenever we hit end Off the Record.
Woo!
All right. So it'll be tonight. I'll probably create the link during your winner of the week. But all right, so now so that was funny because I'm gonna kick Charles' ass. I swear to God, yo. But nonetheless, I gotta say something nice about him at the end of the show, and I gotta think of something nice. Right now I don't have anything nice to say, but I'll figure it out. All right, week 2 is in the books. There was a lot going on. Unfortunately, a lot of injuries as well. I think we could start there with I guess the main injury is Nick Chubb. If you was watching it, I'm sure you've seen it. If not, I won't be posting it. And I mean, it was terrible. So he has to have surgery. His season is done. What now?
So let me get a moment.
Okay.
Um,
By the way, Nick Chubb was Scott's running back.
in almost every league that I was in, it hurt me to the core to watch him get hurt. It hurt me so much that I turned the rest of the game off and went to bed. I was that upset that he had got hurt. Not that it was any of his fault or anything, but moving forward, I think Ford is going to be able to hold down that backfield.
Mhm.
He's not going to be as efficient as Chubb. I saw they picked up Kareem Hunt. They've got one of the best offensive lines, so I think that the run game will still be stable.
Right.
I also think that this might be what Deshaun Watson needs. From an aspect of, I think the Browns have been playing run first offense.
Right.
They've been relying on their defense, which they've got a really good defense.
Right.
But I think now that they can't hand the ball off to Chubb, it's going to put Watson in a space to where he's going to have to be the man. He's going to have to prove why he has that fully guaranteed contract. And right now, I personally think that he's had enough time to adjust, just because he played 6 games last year. He played in the preseason. He's played 2 games, but my God, he doesn't look the same. And
He doesn't.
I mean, so if I'm Cleveland, right, and I guess the rest of the NFL is rooting against them because they're still mad about the Cleveland Browns giving them all that money.
Right.
How patient do you have to be if you're Cleveland?
You ain't got no choice. You got to be probably the most patient organization because, I mean, if they cut ties, they'll cut ties with the coach before they cut ties with him.
Right.
And I mean, I think they still owe him like $170 million or something to that effect. I mean, I personally don't think that there should be a rush. I feel like it's only been 2 weeks. I mean, let's keep this season in its like vacuum. We don't really need to go back to last season or the season before last that he didn't play. Let's talk about like right now. It's only been 2 games, right? I don't think that there's any team should hit the panic button. Maybe the Jets, but even them, you got Zach Wilson, and just you gotta see what happens, right? So I don't think that they should rush. I think that they should be patient with. He's going to be their starter unless he gets hurt this season. And
they have no choice but to make him their starter.
Yeah.
But we've got to call it how we see it. He looks like shit out there. I mean, and he's not the only one, right? It's quarterbacks, and we'll get to all of them around the league. So you brought up an interesting comment, and I can't remember if you said it last week or you said it in one of our group chats. But you were talking about the lack of preseason, right? You were talking about how a lot of the quarterbacks and a lot of the play has been off because in our preseasons, we're not seeing the starters or we're not seeing the top tier players. And you've been doing this for over 20 years. I would expect that is some level of getting your body ready for the season that can't be duplicated in practice. Like you've got to it's got to be some sort of progression to get you actually ready for the season.
Yeah, I mean, because I know, and we talked about it a couple weeks ago or last week, whatever it was, where I was talking about how they have the inter squad scrimmages, or they have the joint practices where both teams scrimmage each other, and you're not getting. It's not as live. It's live action, and you're probably getting some good work, but it's still not game speed, And I think that in preseason you have game speed. So here's my thing. I think that we are realizing, and myself as well, that we took preseason work for granted, because I get it. a lot of preseason games are unwatchable sometimes, right?
So we're spoiled by COVID, right? And what I mean by COVID is we did have that 1 year to where I don't believe they played preseason during COVID.
Right.
And we came back and they started the football season and it looked pretty similar to what the product was. So I think that's where it all kind of started is we were looking at it like, well, maybe they don't need preseason. And then the players started complaining and they had a lot of validity, you know, to people were getting hurt. And, you know, it just made sense to why they didn't want to see the preseason. But now, I mean, to your point.
And what's happening is like guys are playing preseason games. So how it used to be before they cut the preseason down, you had 4 preseason games. The first preseason game, the actual starters probably played one series, maybe whatever, maybe 2, but mainly it was 1 series. Everybody else got to work. At the second preseason game, they may have played a quarter, you know, and or 2 or 3 series, and everybody else got to work. Then the third preseason game was the money preseason game. You play a half, and then you know, you see, because at that by the third preseason game, you kind of shaping your team up. And the fourth preseason game, it was just like a charity game. It was what it was. The guys that you know are gonna get cut, they're probably gonna play damn near the whole game and get cut in a day or two. But now you just have the 3 preseason games and starters, like a majority of the starters aren't playing, not even a series. And I could understand it to a point if, you know, somebody's coming off an injury, you know, whatever. But it's a lot of bad quarterback play, right? So even if they had 4 preseason games, you know, Joe Burrow wasn't going to play. Dak probably wasn't going to play. Who else? Mahomes played in all 3 of them.
So, and it's interesting that you're bringing up bad quarterback play. So I think that's the escape, right? I think that as good a football as we're seeing, it's teams that look like they didn't even have a preseason. Like it's teams that are at a different level, and then there's other teams that's looking like I'll take the Giants for instance, right? They look like they started playing at halftime, at you know, versus the Cardinals. That looked like for 6 quarters, they looked just. But
they looked amazing in the preseason. Danny Jones looked amazing in the preseason. From what I saw one game. I think it was against the Panthers. He was like 7 for 8, like 70-something yards. I think that's pretty good for a preseason game.
But going back to your initial point, though, okay, so if the starters aren't playing, and then I've got like
3s,
exactly.
I mean, that makes sense.
And that's the expectation that you would think that he could go 7 for 8 against a second tier or third tier.
So you know, with that being said, I think that teams, they just have to know what they have, and it's still early. I don't think anybody. I think that's what I was getting at. There's no need to panic. It's gonna be fine.
I don't think there's no need to panic, but there needs to be a hustle of urgency on certain teams. Now, I wouldn't say that from a fan base, like you should just tuck it in, but it's a pause. Yeah, definitely pause on that. You shouldn't.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You gotta grow up.
No, you
gotta grow up.
I won't.
You gotta grow up.
All right.
Nah, I ain't gonna repeat it.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm definitely not repeating it again. But you shouldn't quit. Right. But there has to be some level of urgency to where you realize that this may not be going in the right direction. So I'll give you my Super Bowl pick, the Jets. I've never seen.
You should panic. You should panic. If that's your pick, yeah.
It was my pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've never seen a team just ultimately just fall apart so quickly. And I get it, right? They lost Aaron Rodgers, but I was under the impression that they have a total team, right? You know, we talked about their defense. We've talked about all the offensive weapons. And as a fan of a team that lost their quarterback last year, they still should have had enough or still have enough to compete.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking at the Instagram stories, with Breece Hall when he's not happy with his carries. Hackett looks like the coach that we saw in Denver because his offensive plan just stunk.
So I'll say this. If I was the Jets, I wouldn't panic either. I understand they were going to lose that game whether they had Aaron Rodgers or not. Let's be honest. That O-line is not the best O-line, especially not for early in the season. So they were going to lose that game even if they had Aaron Rodgers. So my thing is this. First 2 games, they ended up 1-1. Breece Hall he'll get his carries. It is what it is. But it's kind of hard to run the ball when, I won't even say the game ended up getting away from them, and probably because they didn't run the ball. But at the end of the day, they don't have to panic. I think that they should find a way to get everybody on board because they still do have a good defense. And if they can run the ball, just think about it like this. They won 5 games last year with Zach Wilson, and he was and I know a lot of people saying he's still a scrub, but it's just, I'm telling you, I see something that I didn't see last year in Zach Wilson. And I know people talking about he threw an interception and he was smiling. Here's why I do like that. And not that the interception part is that they didn't get down on him. And
his teammates do have a level of confidence in him. And I was listening to Garrett Wilson. He was on some show, and he was just talking about when you're in a locker room, it's not just about what you see on Sundays. He was saying that I'm here with this guy, watching him prepare, watching him get ready, watch him take it seriously, and he's done all the right things. He's blocked out social media. He's definitely harder on himself with his mistakes and his critiques. And I watch how hard he works. So I still have that level of confidence in him. So the question is that's what you're supposed to say, right? But does the team really believe it? And that's where, and none of us can really answer that because we're not mind readers, but I don't think that team really truly believes that Zach Wilson gives them an opportunity to win. I think they had a lot of belief in Aaron Rodgers, and the minute that he went down, you've got some guys that still may think that they still have a shot, but other guys is like, no, this guy is not realistically going to take us to the promised land. And what I'm a little bit surprised off of is I'm not seeing the leadership to galvanize the troops and bring them all together and really.
It's only been a week.
It's been a week, but it really.
I don't know, because I saw Aaron Rodgers go down, and I saw the Jets go down 10 against Buffalo, and I saw yes, Aaron Rodgers. Not Aaron Rodgers. Yes, Josh Allen had 3 picks and a fumble, but I never saw any sort of quit in the team in that game. I didn't see quit in them against Dallas. I just think that Dallas is just a better team, and the game got away from them. But they play the Patriots this week. They've lost to the Patriots 14 straight times. I did see Garrett Wilson say that's unacceptable, and we'll see what happens.
But do you truly believe that they're going to beat the Patriots?
What from the Patriots makes you think that? Oh yes, I confidently think that the Patriots is going to dominate or beat the Jets. No, I think the game is even now. I think that now, with Aaron Rodgers not being there, it's more even.
So from my standpoint, and I never thought that I would say this, I have more confidence in Bill O'Brien than Nathaniel Hackett. I think that he's going to put together. I also have more confidence in Mac Jones and his ability.
But what about those receivers that can't get no separation and can't get open? The Jets got receivers that can get separation and get open. The Patriots don't. And that's why they 0-2.
We'll see.
I don't. I think.
But I agree with you here, right?
Mhm.
Out of all the teams, this is not the one that I'm really arguing that they should panic. It's other
Okay.
teams that have
So
worse.
so let me ask you this. So I believe there's 9 teams that are 0-2.
Okay.
I'm gonna read them to you, and I just need you to pick one team who you think has the most to panic or worry about.
The
All right?
Bears.
Hold on, I'm not. Let me get
Yeah,
there
yeah,
because I don't think
easy.
I don't think that's the case. So you got the Patriots, you got the Bengals, you got the Texans, the Broncos, Chargers. I feel like we did this before, and it's the same teams that's 0-2. The Vikings, the Bears, the Panthers, and the Cardinals. Now remember that with panic means you have expectations. So you say the Bears.
So, okay. So you phrase it that way. So I got 2, right?
I said pick one. He says he has to.
No.
That's cool.
So when you go expectations,
Mhm.
we have to go Chargers. We'll get back to that.
Okay.
Panic and Bears. So a couple of things happened today, right?
Mhm.
Their defensive coordinator resigned.
Mhm.
Yeah, he may have had family issues. He may have had personnel issues, but
Mhm.
the reality, that defense has been terrible. I mean, that defense has looked horrible. And I don't know if he just decided, like, he woke up today and realized, like, yo, this ain't it. And he figured out, he woke up, looked over at his wife and said, hey, look, you got to take one for the team. You got to, I'm going to use you as an excuse.
Mhm.
Walked into that facility and turned in all his shit and walked out. Because that's how bad that defense looks. Take it a step further. That coach is the defensive coach. That his defense is looking like that. And then I hear Justin Fields say, you know what? The reason why I think I'm playing poorly is coaching. He tried to walk it back. And I understood what he was saying is that, you know, he's not playing loose, right? He's out there thinking. And he's not seeing the game as fast and it's not as fluid. And he plays his best football when he's not thinking and he's just trusting his instincts. But then the head coach doubles down on it and is like, yeah, we talked about it. I get it. I understand. And basically admitting to them not being on the same page, right?
Okay.
So you couple all that up with the terrible football that they've been playing. I think they're in panic mode. I really do. It's hard for me not to say that they shouldn't be panicking because I haven't seen anything positive that's made. I've never seen somebody stock. And Justin Fields, he can adapt, but he went from everybody's like, oh yeah, he could be the next Jalen Hurts, to everybody's like, yeah, maybe they should have kept that first round pick.
Okay. All right. So before I tell you who I pick, because I personally think it's so since I was only gonna have one, but since you get picked 2, I'm gonna pick 2 also, and they both in the AFC. I think it's the Chargers and the Bengals. And I'll get to that in a minute. So, but I want to respond to what you said about Justin Fields. I think that with Justin Fields, it is the coach in his ear telling them giving them the play and then telling them what to look out for instead of just letting them play, right? And so that ultimately is going to have him ultimately just thinking. And I do feel like they've said something to him about running, right? Because that's why he looks so bad. Now, with that being said, if he uses his legs a little bit more until he gets everything, all the gears going that should be going, I think that they'll be fine. They lost to the Bucks by 3 points. Oh no, well I think it was 10 because because the stupid play call, you call a damn screen at the goal line. It's the dumbest thing ever because I just saw that on film in a high school game.
So that's the other thing, and I'm glad that you brought up the coaching. I mean, those receivers, they're in the same area. Like they're not giving him, they're not setting him up for success.
So and if that doesn't change, then it's more than just Justin Fields. I'll put it like that. I don't want to hear people say, "Oh, Ohio State quarterbacks," because C.J. Stroud is going to be a stud. I think C.J. Stroud is going to be damn good.
I told you that.
No, I mean, I never said he wasn't, but so I don't want to hear that. The Bears, I don't think that they should be in panic mode yet. I think that what they need to do is just do some self-evaluation. And if I'm offensive coach, the quarterback's coach, the OC, or the head coach on that Bears staff, I am going to Ryan Day and finding out what actually really worked with. If they probably already did that, but what actually really works with Justin, and how can we and do you think it will work here? Yada yada yada. I think you take some of his college stuff and you get him on the move and whatever. Now back to my original. I'm going to the Bengals. And this is why I'm going to the Bengals. I know people saying the Bengals, they got all these pieces. But my thing is this. Jamar Chase hasn't caught a pass from any other quarterback other than Joe Burrow. If Joe Burrow is as hurt as people think he is, and I don't know, but I know calves can be real tricky. And if he's really that hurt where he can't throw the ball downfield, he's inaccurate, yada yada yada, he's gonna have to sit down. And I don't know if that backup can hold down the fort how Joe Burrow does. And if that's the case, if Joe Burrow can't play like a full season, like if he misses 1 or 2 games, then and they go 1-1 or they go 0-2 and they start off the season 0-4, you definitely, because now it's going to be like, do we just say screw this season and just prepare for next season, or do we rush him back before he's really healthy? Because I mean, he's never really going to be 100% until next year. So do you rush him back and then have a chance for him to get hurt even more? You see what I'm saying?
You definitely don't rush him back. I want to tell you, because they just signed him. He's the future now.
Right.
You've already committed to paying him.
But the thing is, that window that they always talk about, he got paid, but Jamar Chase is coming up. T. Higgins is coming up. Don't know what they're going to do with Tyler Boyd, but he ain't going to get the money that those guys are going to get. Joe Mixon, so it's like, some of the guys on the defense, and it's looking like they're going to say screw the defense. But I do think that they have some things I don't think that they should panic, but their level of concern should be raised. Okay. For this season. So we'll see. So you say the Bears, I say the Bengals. And so let's go to the winner of the week.
No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner.
All right. So we were going to talk about it at some point. Colorado State guy. Mm-hmm. My winner of the week, and I hate to do this 2 weeks in a row, but it's to the fans that were throwing death threats to Henry Blackburn. Henry Blackburn, he's the Colorado State safety. Hit Travis Hunter. I think they end up putting him out. He's going to be out. He's got a lacerated liver. So he's going to be out for a second. But it amazes me how, so number one, we talked about Madison last week and the death threats that he was getting over, football. I'm not going to say that it makes it better because he's a pro, but it's a huge difference between threatening a pro and threatening a kid
and their family
and their family over something that he didn't do purposely.
Right.
I feel like the professional athletes at some point they kind of just realize it is what it is and they figure out how to deal with it. But the young men that are in college, they may not be all in for that. They're not used to that. And I mean, neither situation is right, but it's just like when you start doing that to kids, it just And I call them kids in the sense.
Oh, he's a kid. He's a kid. He's I want to say he's 20 or 21. So no, he's a kid, and fans got to tighten up, man. It's like, come on, dog. Like, it's not that serious. Not over a game. He didn't. Was it probably a dirty hit? Yeah. Did he get flagged for it? Yeah. Should he have been ejected out the game? Probably. So, but it didn't. And Colorado won. Now, is Travis Hunter going to be out for a few? Yeah. Is it part of the game? Yeah. So why the hell are you giving this kid death threats and his family? And so my thing is this. I know they have the authorities are investigating and things of that nature, but it's crazy that you would think that to send death threats to a kid that was playing in a rivalry game where there's been bad blood all week, and before the game, both teams was about to fight. So it's like, what are we doing? Like, I feel like in those situations, they should be taken seriously. And once they because they're gonna find out who sent the death threat. They're gonna find out. No matter this is the internet, and if people could hack into MGM and Caesars and the So you just have to speak up a little bit until I get this taken care of. So yeah. So I think that people are ultimately just stupid. Like it's dumb. And if you can hear us, can you just give us a thumbs up in the what you call it in the comments? That'd be nice. That'd be nice of you guys.
But you are right though. People seem to amaze me, but let's shift back, right? So because we have to talk about. I don't want to shortcut. Something that you said. You was talking about Shedeur, and you was talking about during that game, he had what you call a Heisman.
Absolutely.
To where his team needed him to step up. He stepped up. He made a play. It just, I thought he played fantastic. I think each week that I watch him play, I'm more impressed with him.
Right. I mean, hey, here's the thing. Kid was a 4-star quarterback, and I knew he could play. I ain't trying, and I'm not trying to be funny. But I've been saying this when he was at Jackson, and now I'm not saying just you, but there was other folks. He's going to HBCU. He ain't that good. I'm like, all right, this kid can play, and he said it. He said there ain't no difference. It's not like they hit harder. That's not. I'll tell you what. Some of these guys are fast as crap. So it's like You know, they are faster. So to an extent, because you got guys that play in what you call it in HBCUs that should be playing in Power 5 schools, and you got guys at Power 5 schools that probably shouldn't even be playing. Like
Right.
you know, so you look at it and you say, well, he's doing this, and he did it against less competition when he was at Jackson State. And I look at it like he's a quarterback playing the game, and he looks damn good because he's making these throws.
He's
And-
making some
Yeah.
verified throws. He's accurate.
Yeah.
He's got precision. He's got touch. And he's poised. He conducts himself like a professional, and a lot that could have a lot to do with his father. Some of it maybe Tom Brady, but the moment doesn't seem too big for him. And
Right.
you know, I know it's early in the college season. I know they've got a tough road ahead of them, and we've talked about that between like Oregon and USC and some of the other matchups that they have. But I've seen him go through adversity as well as the rest of the team, you know, to where that game, for all intents and purposes, we thought that they were going to come and just blow them out. And to your point last week, that coach knew what he was doing. He knew how to get the pulse of his team and figure out, like, okay, no, we need to show up. It's us against the world. Nobody gives us a chance. And he came to play.
Right.
And I think that kind of caught Colorado a little off guard to where that first half, I mean, they wasn't looking that good.
Yeah, it was a game. I mean, it looked like a rivalry game. It looked like, I mean, I think that Dion and was it Norvell? I think that they should have reeled their guys in just a little bit because there was way too many penalties because they got caught up in the moment. So I do think that part, like they should have reeled them in as much as they could, but they were riled up and there were way too many penalties. And I think the penalties ultimately cost Colorado State the game.
Right.
You know, so it was a damn good game. I enjoyed watching it.
I'm not even going to front. I had to catch the replay. So I saw the highlights, but
it was Saturday night, man. Yeah, but I did say this. I said Colorado can't play at 10 no more.
Yeah.
It was. I was like,
it would be DVR, and I can't do it.
It was a good ass game though. I thoroughly enjoyed watching that game. It was everything that I expected.
College football has been good this year, and
Pac-12 has been good this year.
Yeah,
too bad it's their last year, but
I think so. I think a lot of us were not you particularly, but the transfer portal, right? You know, we're a little reluctant to change the way that we've always watched college, or the traditional way of, hey, you got to sit out a year. You can't just you're just not eligible if you transfer. And then we've been a little bit not really reluctant with people getting their money, but we didn't know how that was going to pan out with all the kids getting the different deals. But I think the transfer portal for the first time has evened up
I agree. He's gonna get his players in there. Like, and I think it's gonna be mostly O linemen and D linemen. That's the missing piece for him right now. And they have Oregon, they have USC, but what I have learned is Colorado's gonna play their best when they're when people don't believe in them or when people expect them to lose. They're a 21-point dog going to Oregon. They're gonna cover. Listen. They ain't pull the wool over my eyes week 1. You're not gonna pull the wool over my eyes this week. I'm taking those 21 points. And if you are a bettor, if you're someone who bets, you better take those points as well because they're not gonna lose by 21 points, even going to Eugene. So. Yeah.
Well, we have to give him his credit.
Mm-hmm.
Dion is a hell of a coach.
Oh, yeah.
He's a good coach. What I do like, I feel like this Colorado team has almost got that Miami or USC swag, and what I mean by that is.
Might be getting a little overboard now.
No, but what I mean is with like the celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
Not really so much that they're on that level, but you see like all the celebrities.
Oh, no. They're definitely on that level. If you're talking about that, they are absolutely on that level because the Warren Sapp, Michael Irvin, you got Desi Banks, you got Offset, you got damn near any and every actor of The Rock, artist, athlete. I mean, and if some of these other athletes can make it there, they would. But some of them have games the next day. Like these NFL guys would definitely be at Colorado at the game if it was a bye week, and if they play a good team on their bye week. I guarantee you're going to see some NFL guys at Colorado games that didn't even go to Colorado. It'd be different if you went to Colorado,
Let me tell you this, right? I got a funny story. One of my best friends from high school, he lives in Denver.
Right.
Right.
His son was on the show.
Yeah, son's been on the show or whatnot. So, we're in a group chat. I'm like, yo, you should go out there. Now, this is like a little bit before like all the celebrities and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, yeah, the tickets, they used to be $25. But they went up to like $200. He was like, yo, on go on post because he's a retired Air Force guy. He was like, I want to see what they talking. I hate to embarrass you on live TV. Man, the damn post ain't gonna have no discount on them damn tickets, man. So you know how like when you see something like in a text or a group, and I saw it. But then I stopped doing so. I don't know if I got like a phone call or something. So I never got to clown them for that. But yeah, Chris, man, that boat is like sell.
Yeah. The tickets are sold out. You don't have to get that joint on third party. It's a third party. So,
but I do think, and shoot, man. Of course, we roll together. I think it'd be a hell of a trip. I think we might need to go out there and see what's up.
It's cold.
That it is, and that's why I haven't made it out there.
It's cold.
Yeah.
So, speaking of which, about making trips and stuff. So last night I was at dinner, and I was actually at dinner with a childhood friend. He was in town. He's a 49er fan. So, he's really soft spoken, but he real slick. He real slickster, right? So I don't even know if we was talking about football out of the blue. He was like, "We gonna beat y'all ass." I was like, "Wait, what?" Like I said, this is how we was talking. This is how it came up because we was talking about Breeze Airlines. And I was like, yeah, because when I went to San Francisco in February, it was we got pennies on the dollar. It was about $200 round trip. So I was like, so then he was like, And so he's like, oh, I never heard of that airline. I'm like, yeah, it's Breeze, and it's a cool flight. And then he was like, yeah.
Hold on, we need to charge them. We need to charge them some promotion or something. That was
That was
that
right?
was.
I'll be on the phone tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
Because
definitely,
absolutely,
yeah,
you're right. You're all right. You're all right. But look, so we started talking. I was like, yo, it ain't nothing to just go to the game, right? And then I started thinking. I said, Scott's a 49er fan. My cousin Ahmed is a 49er fan. Tamir's a 49er fan. I said, I'm surrounded by some 40. I got some other 49er fans. But I started saying, yo, all right, I'm gonna look up these tickets. Is October 8th. I gotta do some media stuff that Saturday. But that Breeze flight is about 5 hours. I'm just gonna have to take off for work on Monday and maybe Tuesday.
Hey man,
I'm thinking, I said, we've been talking about we gotta find a game to go to. And I think that you talking about an old school clash of the Titans. Both teams are probably going to be undefeated. We need to make that happen, yo. Okay. Somehow, some way, we need to make that happen. Where we go, I mean, we can record from San Francisco. Now, I'm not going to say we're going to record from the game,
right?
But we got cameras. We can tailgate, and we can record at the tailgate. Listen, the world is our oyster, and what I do know is it's going to be a hell of a game. And the Cowboy, you know what? We'll see. We're gonna have to wait and see.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see.
So right now, and this is just my opinion, it's 3 teams that are playing lights out: the Cowboys, the 49ers, no particular order, and Miami. I got to give Miami their credit.
I agree.
So we'll see how the rest of the season shapes out. But in the first 2 games, those teams have played exceptional, pretty scary football. Your defense, I'm not going to lie, it is a scary, dominant defense. I will always lean toward my defense, but I would be lying if I was saying if I was just to discredit
you guys. You guys just signed a former Cowboy, by the way, too, Anthony Brown. I thought he was all right. I didn't. He's not better than the guys we have now, but I thought he was all right. I thought he was a key piece for us last year until he got hurt. And when he got hurt, you could tell, we were struggling for quite a bit of time once he got hurt, especially in the secondary, because he got hurt. Jordan Lewis was hurt. We had other injuries, but when he got hurt, that joint you could tell the difference and everything, because they just didn't throw the Trayvon Diggs side, and just anywhere he was at, they just went away from him. So, but what I'm saying now is it's we're gonna have to make that happen,
Okay.
I know we going to Philly, from Philly's Dallas. At least I'm going. I don't know, you're more than welcome to come. But
hey man, y'all big money, man. I want to get on a budget plan or something, man. Get out there, man.
Scott,
flying all over the world.
First of all, Philadelphia is a 3-hour drive. Yeah, we can get on the train. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, but
right.
But we'll make it happen. Before we go, I do want to talk about Mel Tucker, Michigan State head coach, I guess former head coach. I
started to give him the winner of the week,
but I don't think it's fair that he should get.
It's not fair because. And maybe I'm making a joke about this, and we'll probably have to go before we get canceled. But if everything that they say is true, it's true, and we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt, how do you sexually harass the sexual harassment?
That's the part that is just like, something seems. Listen, because she's the advocate. I personally think. They had a relationship. They had a sexual relationship. And he probably said, I want to stop. And she was like, why? He probably said, because I think he's married, right?
Yeah. So we better hope that's the case, because I want to tell you, that's like saying something inappropriate to HR at work. Like it's just not a bright idea. But I think more details are going to surface about it, and we'll stay close to that story. But yeah, if it's true, he is definitely the winner of the week for that.
But for that part, but I'll tell you what, if he gets fired, he'll be hired within the year. Not sure if it's going to be a head coaching position, but he'll be hired by somebody. And well, he's black, so let's hold our horses on that one. It's just unfortunate, man. I hope somehow it gets cleared up and everything, because he is a good coach. But aside from football, you don't like to see those type of things from the women's side and from the male side. And I wouldn't mind having the woman's point of view on the situation. And maybe we'll talk about it more next week and have somebody on here with the woman's point of view and hear her thoughts. Because again, we're two men, and yes, I know we're sensitive to women's feelings and women's thoughts, but it's nothing like having a woman's point of view, and her perspective may open our eyes to something that we don't even realize. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see, but we'll get up out of here. We'll see what's good. Charles, stop playing with me, dog. This is a nice hat, though. It looks good in the camera. But we got the Yoke 'em Up challenge in a couple months. We got football this week. Tomorrow, who's tomorrow? 49ers and Giants. Oh, Jesus. I might not even watch that. It's gonna be a bloodbath. Y'all not gonna win 40-0, though.
Well, we'll see.
You think y'all got 40-0 in y'all?
Nah, that's a bit much.
Yeah, they'll score. And Saquon's not playing.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah. Wow, where you gotta go? You're home already.
Nah.
Oh. I guess I shouldn't have asked, huh? This is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo. I learned not to ask. Yeah. All right, we out.
Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance? Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo, and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.